everyone. Welcome back to SportsKhabri with me and Adi and Rishi. And the topic of discussion is Rohit Sharma. It has been so for a while now. At least it was throughout the Border Gavaskar Trophy. India ended up losing 3-1, and there was a lot of talk about whether Rohit Sharma's omission from the team would yield a positive result. But clearly, that wasn't the case. India ended up losing that final Test match in Sydney. Um, Regardless, there were some interesting things that happened during the test. I think probably the most interesting thing that did happen after Bumrah not bowling in that final session was Rohit Sharma coming out to do an interview mid game. Rishi, have you seen anything like it? Because I have not. Do you think he felt the pressure to come out and say something given all the media and scrutiny and talk that was going on around it?
I mean, I think it was just a last ditch, attempt to put himself in a better light than he already is. I think it's just him trying to scramble and get whatever possible because, of course, like the pressure had to get to him because their camp felt that there was like something had to be done. And for the timing for it to happen when it did, it clearly shows that, it was just an attempt to try and put himself show himself in a position of strength. But dude, the timing of it was just so
Yeah.
bad. Like it was so ill-timed. Like it you could have made a case saying that if India were completely down and out, if we in the sense we had already lost the BGT, there's nothing at stake, we're out of the WTC, there's nothing, like this is pretty much an exhibition test. If that was the case, fair enough, we'd like, okay, there's no harm in coming and doing that, because then again you can say that okay, he was being rested or whatever, then it makes sense to an extent. But dude, like we have everything to play for. The pitch is already spicy, we're having a lot of talks, we're having a lot of issues, we're having problems during the test in itself, and you don't need to add more fuel to the fire. And for him to come out and do the kind of interview, and it was not even with actual reporters who he the ironically who he called out, like he called out in the his interview, he's saying that people with pens and laptops can't decide my future. Yet again, he was not answering to them, he was not answering their questions.
Yeah.
He was it was pretty much an already, like it was not a candid interview. Like he knew what was coming. So what purpose was he serving? Like who, like what did he think was going to happen? What did his camp think was going to happen? What did Star Sports, like for Star Sports, fair enough, it is just drama, it is ratings, like they're going to get clicks and views from it. But from a team perspective, there is no way that is doing any positive. Like a captain should be with the side. If you are the squad captain, ultimately the India test team captain, you should be with your team when they are in the dugout, when they are going in for a break. You should be with them, you should be talking to them, or you should be with the stand-in captain or the coach or whatever. You should be putting your mind and brain to work at that point. You shouldn't be doing your personal agenda kind of
Yeah,
interviews. It's just reflecting badly on everyone.
no, and on top of that, I think like he obviously clearly shot out at basically an entire industry, which is your media industry, and saying that people with pens and laptops, mics, and shouldn't have a say. Who else will have a say, dude? Like if they didn't exist, if commentators didn't exist, broadcast teams didn't exist, media didn't exist, journalists didn't exist, bro, you wouldn't get the money you're getting either. Like it's like a symbiotic relationship, right?
I mean,
If the broadcast
ultimately,
money doesn't come in, you get no money. Who's
yeah,
paying you?
ultimately they're a voice for the people. Like if anything, they are doing
Also, yeah.
jobs, like they're speaking for us. So ultimately we are the critics, we should be like, they should be answerable to us. I don't know what he was going after
No,
over there.
100%. Like, I mean, like, I understand it's frustrating and I understand that he's going through a bad patch and all of that. But yes, probably not the best time either. But he said a very interesting thing, which is that he would not be retiring. He said, this is not a decision to retire, nor am I stepping away from the game. But there's a lot of speculation around whether this is Rohit Sharma's final test match. Gambhir has also not cleared up on the situation. Adi, what do you think, dude? Do you think like it's his final test match or you think he will play in England? 6 months away,
Yeah, I
man.
don't know. I mean, I don't know about what his future plans are. Firstly, I think it is a more of a BCC. I think if you don't have anyone with the, I don't know if it's the power or if it's the stature, if it's the courage to take certain harsh decisions. We don't know what it is because like if it looks or sounds like a captain who's more who's more concentrating about saving his face, saving his name through PRs by by the way, releasing his own articles with his own journalist friends, which, again, he was coming and calling out, but he was doing the same thing in the middle of the series. And secondly, giving an interview to the TV in front of lakhs of people after what, day two or something it was, especially on a day when India was supposed to score runs, and it was a very critical day. While, before the match, he was not there during the national anthem. He was not there in the dressing room. He was never kitted the entire time. So many things. Like, I feel like you as a captain, you're a symbol to the cricket team, or to an extent, symbol to the nation. And if you're taking the job so casually, treating it as like, I don't know, it's more like treating it like a circus master. Like, I'll do whatever I want whenever I want. Come in pajamas, do whatever I want. Have no real decency of an Indian captain to represent the country properly, running away from a crucial test match, and then flaunting in front of Irfan Pathan and laughing it out by saying, I'm not playing well, so I'm dropping myself. I'm such a selfless guy. I think it was literally embarrassing, because the fact that you're not performing well, the fact that you have a chance in the last test to go out there, help your country, win the test match, or even draw, whatever it is, like, you can't lose a test match, at least get a result out of it. Like, as a captain, that's your bare responsibility. You can't flaunt yourself by saying, look at me, I'm such a nice guy, I dropped myself from the last test, and laughing it out, and talking like it's some achievement. I felt that was literally like a clown show, because, like, how can you drop yourself in a crucial test match, being the captain of the team, come on TV in middle of day three, and then give an interview by saying, look what I did, I'm such a selfless guy, and just laugh it out. It doesn't make sense at all. And I think he came out in the sense of people will start appreciating me, calling me selfless again. But I was like, bro, this doesn't make sense. You're the captain. If you don't want to play, fair enough. Like, if you're taking the stance of, okay, I'm not good enough to play the last test match, which I don't agree with, but if you want to do it, but then don't come in front of the TV when your team is under pressure, and then make it about yourself again. Like, you need to be out there ensuring the team is playing. Like, let that play out. After the test series, you want to come have an interview, fine. The test series over. There's nothing more to do at that time. I don't get it, bro. Like, you have such a big responsibility, and you're taking it as like a casualty, and doing some circus
Yeah,
stuff.
it
Like,
was
I
it
felt
was it was
embarrassed.
it was in between. It was literally during day two. It was on lunch of day two, and that is so weird. Like, that you come out and say that, because yeah, like Adi said, bro, you're going out. You've got the team is to come out and perform. It's a crucial day because the test match is moving fast. There was no time to blink, especially during that Sydney test. So there was a lot happening. So that's the question, right, Rishi? Like, he's saying that he's not retiring. He's saying that I'm not leaving anything. He'll be 38, by the way, by the time he goes to England next year. You think he's going to play? Do you think, like, or do you think Gambhir has it in him to drop Rohit Sharma, or tell Rohit Sharma to go and play the Ranji Trophy after the Champions? Just let him play and just stay on.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, ironically, Gambhir said after the BGT that he'd prefer if all his players went and played the Ranji Trophy or got how much ever experience possible. But then that's pretty much not how, like, the basis on which he picked his players for the BGT, because there were a lot of players who were playing well in their domestic series. Like, you had your Mukesh Kumars, you had Abhimanyu Ishwaran, you had Sai Sudarshans. They all had outstanding domestic Ranji Trophy series, and then you ended up picking players like Harshit Rana. Okay, he did okay, but I felt okay, you could have done something more. There was no need to rush him in. Like, again, because of which you could see after a couple of tests, he was again rotated for somebody else. So clearly that plan had backfired. So if Gambhir himself is saying one thing and he's not able to stick to it, I don't know where that is going to, like, apply, because now he's saying, okay, you go and play Ranji Trophy. Based on that, you're going to bring in players. Like, if you're strictly going to follow that, players like Mayank Agarwal is having a brilliant domestic series now. He is having an all-timer series now. Does that mean he gets a fair shout? I don't think he will. Like, I'm not confident the way Gambhir is saying things, and he has not been acting upon it. And from a retirement or whatever perspective, I think Sanjay Manjrekar, to be honest, for all the kind of things he says, he also gives good tweets, or he also gives good, like, technical analysis. He put out a tweet saying when to retire is up to the player, but how long to play is up to the selectors. And I saw that, I'm like, dude, this
Yeah,
actually makes sense. Like,
no,
fine,
obviously,
like,
bro. But do you think anybody has it in Indian cricket to tell him you're done?
dude, if anything, this should be the easiest captain to say that to, because you, like, the previous captains who preceded him, like, I include Ajinkya Rahane. Like, Ajinkya Rahane got us a BGT, like, in dire circumstances, where even if we didn't get embarrassed, if we'd have walked away with respectful defeats, that would have been considered a great achievement. He
Yeah,
brought us, like, he retained the BGT for us. Before that, Virat Kohli, the one who completely, like, changed the way we played Test cricket altogether.
yeah,
Before that,
yeah.
MS Dhoni, like, one of our best, like, in all formats, one of our best captains India's ever had. Before that, Rahul Dravid. Before that, Saurav Ganguly. Like, in the grand scheme of things, off the list where we've had India captains, Rohit Sharma is one of the most underperforming and under delivering captains. So from that perspective, like, the selectors and the coach, their work should be cut out, because you can clearly look at the difference that like, Rohit Sharma is bringing for the team, not in a good way, by the way. So you can just be like, dude, you're not having any significant uptick in your form. Your like, age is catching up to you. Your form is like, lack of form is catching up to you, and your captaincy is being severely questioned. Where there are others, he himself said stuff like, the captains have to work for it. There are young players. True, like, Bumrah is there. Maybe if you want to manage his workload and whatever, that's a different conversation. But there are more than enough players who are capable of taking up the mantle. Like, so if you are from a selector's perspective, it shouldn't be that hard. Like, you can't be giving into stuff like PR and, like, media pressure, because this ought to be the easiest captain to boot out, to be fair.
Yeah, bro, I agree. I think there are enough in the camp. Senior players I'm talking about. Say even if you say you want to just with Bumrah, you're so terribly concerned about it. Rahul becomes a mainstay. Say he has a good series in England. I have a strong feeling he'll get picked for England. And if he does have a good series there, you have an option in KL Rahul, who's also going to play for the next 6 7 years. He's what 30 now, so around 30, and then yeah, you have years at least. So you've got an option there. You've got an option in Jasprit Bumrah. So yeah, again, I don't know. I don't know why. What is this conversation about captaincy? Why did it come up? Like, I don't know why he even mentioned it in the interview. Like, it made, I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me. I don't know what, I don't think nobody was saying give the captaincy to Shubman Gill, or nobody was saying give the captaincy to Yashasvi Jaiswal. I don't know from where the whole conversation about it being served on a platter to these younger guys. They have to earn it. Even came up.
Dude,
Like,
that's
I don't
because
know what was the
that's because
relevance.
he can't fight from a, like, a batter perspective, because he doesn't the numbers don't add up. So the only thing Rohit Sharma has is the captaincy title, because you strip that away from him, like, the minute that is taken away from him, he has no merit to be in the team, because there are better batsmen, pure batsmen waiting in line who are doing consistently better. So I think that's the only rope that he has that he can grab onto.
Yeah, it's a weird one. But Adi, like I know Rishi's like both of you have Rishi has clearly said that I think it's time for the selectors to take call. You think selectors will say, bro, this is it? If you go to England, bro, because if this Rohit Sharma goes to England, bro, I swear, bro, six is average in his last 5 innings and only four in England.
I mean, to be fair, he does well in England. I think England is one of the places he's always enjoyed batting, so I really can't
Bro,
tell
but where has
much
he
in
played
that.
Test cricket in England? Bro?
He's
Last
played
time
no
he played,
last Test cricket he played. He scored centuries and all. Remember the one where we were
2020.
leading 2-1.
I'm thinking, bro. In the
2021 he played.
difficult in the
He's
difficult
playing,
series, yeah. So that's one. But in the difficult series that India has gone to England, I don't even think Rohit Sharma has played.
but he's always played. Even in World Cup, he's played in England. He's
Bro,
always
World Cup
scored
is a
runs.
different story, right? The white
Champions
ball is obviously
Trophy.
a different story.
But
But
like in white ball, he struggled in Australia. His entire career, he struggled in Australia. I think like the thing is England suits his batting just for the fact that he likes playing to the swing. They're better. I think Australia, I think it's more about the way he bats, and Australia being such a pacey, bouncy track. I just don't think it suits him well anyway. So I think that's one thing. But again, you have to think more than just batting performances in a certain
yeah,
area.
he averages 40, which is decent. But yeah,
I think that's more than any bro. That's pretty good for an Indian batsman in England, to be fair. I always feel like he plays well in England, so I really can't say that's the right place to drop him at. But it is more about long term
yeah,
vision. You can't
I
just.
don't think he'll do well in England if he goes at like with the form that he has right now. But yeah,
But again, like, to be fair, he's had a good 2024. Like, I can't say he had a bad 2024. Like in white ball, he was India's highest scorer. We forget that he was the highest scorer for India in T20 World Cup.
I have no problem Rohit Sharma the white ball player. I genuinely have no problem. I think he's a proper white ball player.
But even in the beginning of the year, he scored a lot of runs against England in India. So like that's again the point. The point is, I feel like Australia is one place he just struggles generally, and it's come at the right time in a weird way. I don't know as a batsman if he's regressed or not, but I do
In
believe,
Test cricket this year he's averaged 24.
yeah, that is because of this Test series, right? Like past two Test series.
Bro, the funny thing is, like, from his selfless intent perspective, it would have worked out brilliant for him and the team if he had just stuck to T20 and ODI, because that like especially T20, because that's where it works. If you can give your team a good start in the power play, like, okay, that works brilliantly. But that is where he ended up retiring the
Bro,
earliest. Like,
first of all, I don't agree with the selfless intent argument and scoring 30, 40 runs and losing your wicket. Because same thing when Maxwell Punt does it, you guys all berate by saying, bro, how can a batsman lose his wicket like this? This is literally embarrassing. But like I
see,
don't agree with the fact
No,
that
I
like,
don't
from
agree.
the
Don't
way,
convince
see,
me.
I don't agree, but see
I
the
don't
way
agree. No, I don't. I really don't believe
like
scoring
people
40
like
of 20
Faisal
balls and getting
Madhav and
out is
all are giving
selfless.
starts to IPL like teams in the IPL. Fair enough. If you want to do that, okay. If you want to give your team a good
Rishi,
start,
but Rishi, 50 overs game, you're playing 50 overs. That's literally how much you can play. Like in one day of Test cricket, you aim to play 80 overs. That's almost a day of Test match. Like if you look at
no,
it,
no, that's true. That's true.
50 overs
That's why I said
is a lot.
especially T20 cricket, and like that's why I said that's like the one place where he got it wrong, but that's where he ended up retiring
Mm.
the earliest.
Yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't matter. My point is, even in Test or ODI, you can't just say I'm selfless. I'm
No,
such
no,
a selfless captain.
you can't, definitely not in Test cricket.
I'm going to
Don't
throw
think
my
that you
wicket for
can never
40
say that in Test
runs.
cricket.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't.
of course.
I've never understood this ever
No,
because
even in
I
ODI
think it's
cricket, I
all
don't think it's a true thing like that. You say that, oh yeah, I scored 40 of 30 and then thank you.
because
Like
I
I,
feel like it's more pressure for the next batsman who comes in because he has to face another 40, 45 overs because of you throwing a
yeah,
wicket for
no,
no
like
reason.
I think in T20 cricket to an extent it does hold good that you just. But anyways, let's. We're moving away from the topic. Adi, do you think he'll play in England?
I don't know, bro. I really don't care, to be fair. If he plays, it's up to him. If he doesn't play, also, again, it's up to him. I feel like that's the point I'm trying to make. I don't think right now, there are reports saying the selectors have said, before that interview, there was a report that said the selectors are looking away from, Rohit Sharma, etc. Next day comes, he gives an interview, says, with his chest out that no ways I'm going anywhere. Like I'm the captain and it's my team, etc., etc. So I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's politics. I don't know if it's a decision that comes to coaches, because generally in India it's never worked out like that. Even last time I remember it was Kohli Kumble who had a problem like that last time, when I can remember, like a coach versus a captain having a problem. It was Kumble who got technically fired. So I don't know if it will come down to it, like Rohit versus Gambhir, and maybe the BCCI or the selectors or whoever it is choose Rohit Sharma over Gambhir. We don't know what is going to happen,
Yeah,
but I
certainly.
just think I don't see any decision maker here right now that says, uh, no thanks, basically to Rohit. Like I don't think there's anyone there right now, because if it was, if you have got a captain who's coming out in the middle of a test series and saying I chose myself to draw and like no one else could tell me anything. He's basically saying that I'll do whatever I want. It's like I can drop myself whenever I want. I can play myself whenever I want. Like
Yeah, same, same.
same way how he kicked Gill out whenever he wants. The same way where he made KL Rahul play one position one time, another position another time. It's like that. It's like no one really has a say right now. Like don't like play test, play only white ball. I don't know. I really don't see any real strong leader out there right now who's going to take bold decisions. So I just think maybe if the coach really pushes it in the near future, then maybe we might see it. But I have no answer to that question.
Let's see where this Rohit Sharma saga leads us. ICC Champions Trophy. After that, there's a long period, long break. If he chooses to, he can play the Ranji Trophy. It'll be interesting to see if Gautam Gambhir pushes him to do that, and then eventually integrates him back into the side for the England series. Lots of interesting stuff coming up over the next 6 months, especially for uh, man from Mumbai and his career. We'll leave it at that. Please do let us know, guys, whether you think Rohit Sharma has played his final test, whether you think his statements mean a lot and that he will be picked for England, for that England tour. Yep, like always, please do like and share the video. Subscribe to Sports Kabri. See you soon. Bye bye.